friends. I am from Kiev. All of my relatives, my parents, my brother still stay there. And while those guys who hide themselves behind those fences and in this building, while those guys were having their coffee in the morning, my third morning already was beginning with messages from my parents. Did they survive another shelling or not? And it's just impossible to realize something like this in 21st century. We don't even need to discuss anything about sanctions. Since the first bomb was falling in Ukrainian land, all serious sanctions should have been imposed immediately. Ukrainian nation is a peaceful nation, but we also have two things. We have our dignity and we have our memory. We remember Maidan, we remember Vasily Slepak, a Paris opera singer who left his career in 2015 and went to the east of Ukraine to fight for our democracy and freedom. We remember Danya Didik, 15 years old children, the kid who was killed in Kharkiv in the protest like this because it was a terroristic attack from Russia. We still remember everything. We remember Ilovaisk, we remember Volnovakha, we remember Donetsk airport. And so that's why you don't need to be mistaken here. Russia started the war in Ukraine not because we wanted to join NATO. We wanted to join NATO because Russia started the war in 2014, and we still fight for us. This war still continues, but now it's just insane. Yesterday, for example, they bombed, as you might know, hospitals, kindergartens. Is it like those NATO soldiers that Putin wanted to fight with? Just civilian people. Today in the morning I again opened the news from my hometown and I see this shelling of civilian buildings. Isn't it insane? And Hague Tribunal is waiting for Putin for that. That's for sure. That's for sure. It is undoubtedly. And also, Russia has a lot of losses now. Within 3 days of our brave fighting in Ukraine, they already lost more soldiers than in any conflict that they started after USSR collapsed. And there were a lot of them, as it was already mentioned. Because I guess they just didn't know that in our national anthem, we have this phrase which sounds like «Душу и тіло ми положим за нашу свободу», which means we will give our soul and we will give our body for our freedom. But I guess now Putin and their soldiers maybe realized it finally. Thank you. Слава Україні! Слава Україні! Слава Україні!
Vielen Dank. Als nächstes Roman Revachuk.